I want to show you guys a fairly common issue I've been having with my chipper shredder. And I can't say that the problem has anything to do with the design of the chipper and shredder, more just the materials I've been running through it. But what happens is if I'm shredding stuff, every once in a while something will get caught between the rotor and the edge of the area the chipping's done and kind of gets stuck there. And it kind of puts drag on the rotor. And sometimes it'll start smoking. Sometimes it'll actually slow the belt down. Yesterday it got so bad it slowed the belt down. And I just kind of want to show you this little trick to fix that. But what happens is it can be quite frustrating. You know, it's only when I put bark in the chipper that this happens. But it can be quite frustrating and just really get under my skin, for lack of a better term. And I think we already solved the problem just by taking that piece off. But you see this piece of bark here? It'll get stuck right in here. It only gets stuck on this side. And when it gets stuck on this side, there's a lot of drag created and it'll slow the belt down. So whenever I'm feeding bark into my chipper, I'll usually break it up into smaller pieces because I don't want it to get stuck back there. And I do see there is another piece of bark in the back. So let's take you off the tripod and see if we can show you what's going on here. It's going to be very difficult to get you guys in to show you where the piece of bark is, but if you follow my screwdriver down, right here there's a big chunk of bark wedged against that rotor. And maybe you can see it a little bit better if you follow through over here. And that's what was causing all the drag. If you just follow my screwdriver, there's a piece of bark that's got to be 3/4 of an inch wide, shoved right in there. And you know, the chipper was smoking on me and it slowed down. It slowed down enough I decided I'd go ahead and stop it. So all I need to do is just bang it a few times and figure out how to get that piece of bark out there. It's wedged in pretty good. So there it is. That little piece of bark was causing me oodles of trouble. And you see how the edge of the rotor kind of wore it out? And you see how it's kind of burnt because of all the momentum? That's all that was causing me the trouble. So now that we got this cleaned out, I can go ahead and start doing some more chipping. You see how the rotor's swinging freely again? And, you know, I didn't do my usual safety caution, but please be careful when you're working in here. If this moves, it's going to pinch your hand. If somebody tries to start it, it's going to pinch your hand. If you've got one hand in there and the other hand wedging and something slips, you're going to lose a finger. So be careful, guys, okay? Use common sense here. You know, the purpose of this video was just to show you that, you know, sometimes things are going to get stuck in there, and that's just a fact of life. There's really not much you can do about it. I hate to have to admit it, but I got very frustrated. I was out doing this in the rain, and I'd gone through like 3 buckets, and I had like another bucket to go, and I just wanted to get it done. And it frustrated me. I didn't throw anything, but I'm pretty sure I almost swore. So there you go, folks. I just wanted to show you that one little problem. And I want to say that, you know, if you ever have trouble with equipment, there's always a cause. Now, the cause may be a worn part, a defective part, an abused piece of equipment, but there's always a cause. And your secret as somebody trying to fix a piece of equipment is to just figure out what's causing the problem. And you just got to take it a step at a time and see what it is. And the first time this happened, I was panicking because I thought it was some major thing that had broken on the chipper, when it turned out all it was a little piece of bark stuck in there. So now I know if the machine makes a louder noise than usual, if I start to see some smoke, sometimes it'll clear itself out, sometimes it won't. If it doesn't, I need to shut the machine down and just go ahead and clean it out. And usually that works. It's just sometimes it's raining out and you want to get through something and you don't take the time to stop the machine and clear it out, or just say, let me wait till another day. But I just want you guys to keep in the back of your mind, whenever you're troubleshooting something, there's always a cause. And the cause is usually not as expensive as you think it is. There are exceptions, but usually it's something reasonably inexpensive that just needs to be replaced. If you have a shop do it, it's going to cost more for labor, but it's usually something reasonably inexpensive that needs to be replaced. So if you can just convince yourself to take a deep breath, take it step by step and troubleshoot, you're going to be fine. The last thing I'm going to say is that mat you saw me put down is awesome on wet days like today. I just worked on my piece of equipment and I didn't get all wet and muddy and disgusting. If you have like a spare piece of plywood, if you have a spare cardboard box, or if you go to Tractor Supply in the store that we have in New Milford, if you go back by the batteries, they have these rolls of mats. There's a thicker roll, which I think is like a 1/2 inch or 3/8, and there's a thinner size. I got the thinner size. I'll be honest, the thinner size is a little bit heavy. I wish I got a smaller piece sometimes, but on a day like today when I'm working, or if I'm working underneath my truck and I'm on gravel, that mat comes in very handy. So it's Tractor Supply, it's the rolled mats, it's not one of the ones in front of the store that's this ginormous, like really heavy thing. It's a rolled mat and it's the thinner size, and it's really awesome for putting underneath equipment. That's going to do it for today, guys. Take it easy and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.